I'm Sarah and I'm going to show you today how to make something really nice and easy for like lunch or lunchbox snacks or whatever, which is some Weetbix baked pita chips. If you usually make your own bread like me and you didn't and you find it's lunchtime, these are a great solution, especially with some hummus or cottage cheese or something like that. I'll link my recipes for them down below too. We just want to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius and get 3 Weetbix. I don't buy the expensive name brand Weetbix, I just get the Pam's stuff. 3 Weetbix, or you know, this is one of those good ones for the crushed Weetbix at the bottom of the packet that's not in its shape anymore. Gonna crumble them up well. Then just some plain flour, we want 1.5 cups. You can use plain white flour, or the original recipe calls for wholemeal flour, which I think would be really nice too, but plain flour is cheaper, so that's how I roll. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Originally the recipe called for, I think it was 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm actually just going to put 1 full sort of scant teaspoon of salt in, because it just didn't feel like it was enough. It didn't really, you couldn't taste it at all. 1/2 cup of milk, however I'm using some whey that I've got that I need to use up from making my yogurt, so if you need to use up whey, this is a good one, 1/2 cup of that, otherwise 1/2 cup of milk any type. It can be soy milk, almond milk if you're wanting to make this vegan. 2 tablespoons of oil. Yes, I'm using a dessert spoon here, and so I'm just going to go lob, because I can't find my tablespoon. Anyway, so professional. That is it. As far as ingredients goes, just give them a good mix up. Once it starts looking clumpy like that, get your hands in there. You might want to get a bit of flour on your hands. Smush that all together and just give it a bit of a knead until there's no flour left. Turning it over, folding it and squeezing it until you've got a nice even dough ball. There we go. Just give that a bit of a smoosh, just make sure it's all really well incorporated. So we want to roll this out. Now this here is where I start to cheat. Although I could use my muscle power, I've got a pasta maker, I'm just going to use this. Not sure if it's ingenious or lazy. Either way, I'll take it. 3mm thick, I rolled that out too. Now, make these into pretty triangle shapes. Cut in half, cut across that way in big diamonds, and across again. And you can put them fairly close together on the tray. They don't really, you don't need baking paper or anything, they don't really stick. I mean, you know, they got jagged edges, they're not perfect, but that's how you know they're homemade. So, that's my first tray. This will make about 1.5 trays of these, depending on how thick or thin you make them, I suppose. It's a personal preference. But also you want to bake them 180 degrees Celsius for between 10 to 15 minutes. It will depend how you want them. I'd go the full 15 minutes if you want them more on the crunchy side. If you make them a little bit thicker and you bake them for a little bit less, they'll be a little bit more on the soft side. So it just depends how you like them. So I'm going to put these in for about 15 minutes. Roll out the rest of this, put the next tray in, and we'll do a taste test. Okay, so these came out perfect. They are nice and they're not like wafer thin, unless you choose to roll them really wafer thin, but these are just, they're nice and substantial, they're crunchy. Unless you specifically said it to me, I'm not sure I'd pick they were made with Weetbix, but you can get those little Weetbixy flavoured undertones. There's something that you would have, you know, with a topping, with, as I say, a bit of hummus, bit of cottage cheese, yum. bit of normal cheese and tomato, wee sprinkling of salt. I'm getting ideas for lunch now, but give these a go. They are really good. They go down great with the kids. They're a good alternative to a sandwich every now and then, you know. So, and they could not be quicker or easier to make, seriously. So there we go. Give it a go. Hit like, leave me a comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.